Hello, everyone. So, I have something to admit. I have been obsessed with cobol. So, I haven't been able to sleep well for the last few days because I've been thinking about it. I don't think this is a problem that a lot of people have, but this is me getting it out. So, here's the thing. Let me tell you why I'm obsessed with cobol. It's because cobol is like the most unhinged programming language out there. Like there's some programming languages like that are unhinged themselves, like the programming language itself, the syntax and everything. So you have things like brain fucked, right? Like brain fuck. I'm brain fucked, but the language is brain fuck. And like that's unhinged. And then you have like Funkaton, which is really cool. I really want to learn it. But yeah, that's unhinged. And then you have like languages where the community is a little bit unhinged. So you have like Rust, where it's like every problem is solved by Rust. Everything should be rewritten in Rust, and it's the best language that solves all problems. Or you have like Haskell programmers. I think I'm in this camp where it's like it's the most beautiful, concise language out there with the best features. Um, but no one uses it, right? And so when you talk to these people, it's a little bit crazy, right? Like the ideas they have is like it's like watching the video when someone's like the earth is flat, prove me wrong. It's like really hard to communicate if you don't agree with their ideas because there's no way, there's nowhere to go. And then you have COBOL where it's everything. It's like you can't separate the man from the myth with COBOL. Like the language itself is crazy. The syntax, like you look at it and it's just so ugly. They're trying to make it like English words, but people can't write it because it's like so weird. And I don't know, maybe like one day it's like ugly things can become cute or like a really bad movie can become funny. Like maybe we can start to like COBOL that way. But also the community is crazy. Like it's really like walking into a cult or something like that. I've never walked into a cult before. Actually, I walked into a Scientology office once, and it really did feel that way. Like everyone's well dressed, everything's normal. Everybody, everyone's well dressed. Everyone's smiling. They're greeting you. We aren't crazy people. We're very nice. Look, we can speak English with you. And like, so if you type in like YouTube, learn COBOL programming or something like that, half of those videos, which are usually an hour long or something like that, they're actually trying to convince you that COBOL is cool and that mainframes are cool because, you kind of need mainframes to code COBOL. I didn't know that. And they say the craziest things like IBM will say, "Hey, let's our mainframes, we want to like run video games servers on them because they're the future." And like people who talk about COBOL, like I saw a professor say something like, um, don't just because like some languages are cool, sounds like when someone's like, "Oh, that woke, stuff." Like doesn't mean you should use the cool languages because COBOL works. Why switch if something works? Well, maybe because other things work better. You can say like something's Turing complete, right? But like I think most of us would agree that COBOL is not the sort of like perfection of what computer languages are. Anyway, so that's pretty crazy for me. And then the news, like, sort of like just the other stuff around COBOL, like, there's going to be a COBOL programmer shortage. They're all dying out because no one learns COBOL in school, which I think is pretty much true. I haven't heard of like anyone going to like undergrad computer science and like, hey, we're going to learn computer science and we're going to be using COBOL to demonstrate it. Tell me if I'm wrong, put in the comments. Um, so so yeah, I believe that like people are not learning COBOL. I don't know if there's actually the truth that like there's going to be a shortage and that our banks will stop working, right? So this they make it sound like it's a dire problem. But on the flip side, they say that like if you learn COBOL and learn some mainframe stuff, then you can get a good job, a well-paying job, and you don't really have to talk to people, which is appealing to me. Like I'm pretty social, but like for work, I don't need to talk to people. I'd be happy if you just like let me do my work and I can go home, or if I can work from home, even better. So, is it true or is it not true? And that's really what this is about. I want to create a series here where I will learn COBOL. I will learn a minimum of mainframe computing. I have no idea what that is. I know Unix, but mainframes I think are a little bit different. And see if we can get a job. I don't think I'll actually, well, I don't know if I'd take the job, but if we can get the job and offer, then we've won. Or I get so sick of COBOL that I'm cured of this obsession and we've, purged it from my system. So that's the idea here. Um, I think what we'll do is in the beginning of each video, it's sort of like a journal. I'll give you a quick update on what's going on, what I've done. I don't think this is going to be like a short-term thing. I think it takes a while to learn mainframes and COBOL. So I'll give you a quick update how I'm doing, what I did, and then for those of you that have ADHD, you can just like stop watching at that point and move on with your life. But those of you who have like who maybe want to do the same thing with me, I'm going to be actually doing all my learning online and capturing it in the video using only like online resources that are open source. So you can literally do it with me and you can learn COBOL too. And we can both get jobs that pay really well, never have to talk to people. And so, yeah, we write some shitty COBOL for a few hours a day. I think they basically need more maintaining than actual coding. So we probably just like look at some errors that show up or something like that. And that's the day, right? When the project manager asks us how long it's going to take, we're going to say 3 weeks, but it'll only take 3 hours. Anyway, the only problem here is if people learn about this video series, then the people hiring me would also learn about it. So we have to keep it quiet. All right, so I think that's my quick introduction to what this is all about, what's going on in my crazy head, and yeah, we'll switch now to actually starting to learn COBOL. Hello everyone. So I did a COBOL video before trying to get access to the IBM mainframe, and that was sort of like really, really painful and traumatic. So here we're going to kind of zoom through it. You can watch that other video if you'd like, but here we're just going to get you set up so that you can actually learn COBOL on an IBM mainframe. We start off on the openmainframeproject.org website. Then you can navigate to their projects, our project's COBOL programming course. And this is where they tell you a little bit about the programming course. And we can go straight to get the code because this programming course is actually like on GitHub. So now you can see we're on Open Mainframe COBOL programming course on the on GitHub. And we can actually go straight into programming course number 1, get started. They tell you to go to releases to start following the process. That makes sense. We'll do that in a minute. But a lot of things actually make a lot more sense when you do the last thing first. That's the key to like surviving this course, it feels like. So click on, well, we want to get a provider first, because what that's going to do is allow us to use an IBM mainframe to learn COBOL on, right? So IBM has provided a free environment. We go ahead and we click this. And in that free environment, you'll see that you can sign up for a user account. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we will confirm that we will not, oops, I can't click on everything. We confirm that we will be a good citizen. And now they have welcomed us to IBM Z Xplore, and we have to get started here with this. And they just want us to click next several times. It's still loading. All right, so now they want to know a little bit about us. I found that saying none everywhere is the best way to go here. And then you put your email address here. I live in France, so that's where we put it in. Where do we hear about it? We heard it from YouTube, right? From me. And we want to know about IBM events and future career opportunities. So we go ahead and click next. Make sure you fill out none for all of those other things, otherwise it's going to complain and not be happy. And then we just like accept it here. Here it's just saying like don't use this for commercial activities. Use this for learning COBOL according to like, following the COBOL programming course or doing the challenges. So we say, sure, sounds great. Now it's loading again. That was your first challenge. It wasn't so bad, right? Yep, that's right. I'm ready to continue. Clicked on that. Awesome. You've earned 26 coins. Enter IBM Z Xplore. So here's a gotcha. At the first time I did this, I thought I could now go back to my COBOL course, but you can't. You have to actually go back to your email address. Here, let me bring that up. And when you read this, it basically says here, COBOL courses. If you're joining IBM Z Xplore through COBOL with VS Code course, you should use the VS C1 challenge to acquire a user ID and password to the ZOS environment to work through your lab's exercises. So this is kind of important. You can use any of the other stuff if you want, but you should do the VS1 challenge. Otherwise, you don't really have an ID. So that is going to be in the fundamentals. You see where it says challenges will unlock one at a time, starting with VSC1. So let us go back here and we click on fundamental concepts, fundamentals here. Oh, you see this? There was a ZOS. Let me go back there for a second because that's kind of important. The first time I did this, I didn't end up with a successful user ID. And I think it's just IBM sort of their system kind of screws up. You click on this ZOS password reset. You kind of follow the instructions, and it doesn't tell you your password sometimes. Then go back to fundamentals and concepts and click on VSC1, and you should see your username and password there. So that's just like if you find out you don't have one inside of this course. So we're just clicking here. You see here, it gave me my username and password. Just copy that somewhere because you're going to need it later while you're doing this. And yeah, so take me to the PDF. So I'm going to click on this PDF button here. It's going to give me the PDF. And here it's basically saying that let's make sure we can connect to the IBM system. So here we go. Yes, we were able to connect to the IBM system. Sometimes, like you can see here, it says non-secure, so you might have to say like connect anyway, because they don't use normal certificates. They use their self-signed SSL certificates. Anyway, if you have any problems with that, join the Discord server that's in the description, and we can help you out with any problems you're experiencing. Okay, sorry, just give me 1 second here. I just want to make sure I'm recording the right thing. Okay. Load up on download. So now we're going to get all of these things. We're going to get VS Code and Node.js. I think we can just download VS Code, download Node.js. So I'll click on Node.js. That's annoying that it took me out of the thing. So let me go back here and I will right click here. We don't need this anymore. We'll download Node.js. Doesn't say to actually install it yet, so I'll wait a minute. You will also need to have a Java environment available. So there is one over here. So let us go over to IBM's Java environment. I figure if we're going to be using IBM stuff, might as well go all the way. So here is Windows. You find your platform. And then I will download the installer here. For the JDK, I think is better. Does it say JDK? It doesn't really say JDK, but JDK is a development kit, I guess. So that's probably a little bit better than the runtime environment, even though it's smaller. Okay, maybe we only needed the runtime though. We will see. Look for the LTS version. Oh, I didn't look. Where does it say LTS? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just got the latest version and went for, oh, 21 is the LTS version. Okay, so that we already have. Other Java options are available. Let's also download Visual Studio Code. So we download our version, click on download. We have that downloading also now. And now we are going to install Node.js. I guess that's just under our download links. We got Node here. We will install Node. I will switch to desktop so you see everything. Here is Node. I accept the license. Automatically install necessary tools. Well, I don't know what necessary tools are, so I'll try without it and see how it goes. Alright, so that was installed. Now we install Visual Studio. Run the installer. So Visual Studio installer is here. We accept the agreement. We install it. And click install. This will run for a while. What's next? Make a shortcut, start it. Okay, so we just have to start it after we're done. Okay, so before we start up Visual Studio Code, we are going to install the JDK that we downloaded because it will likely need it. All right, now it's copying files and we are done. Okay, so now I think we are good to start up Visual Studio Code. Let's choose the super high dark contrast version of this. And now we will, what do we need to do next? We are going to install an extension for Visual Studio. Click on extensions and search for IBM Z Open Editor. Okay, so we click on this thing here with that looks like the squares. And we type in IBM Z Open Editor. Here we go. I clicked on that, and now I click on Install, and it is now installing. Hopefully it's happy. Said no Zoe CLI profile found. We don't know what that actually means yet, but that's probably something we will have to do. We did all this, and it says there should be a new extension on the left, and we see that here. Check it out. So we're going to click on that, and let's close that. And we see that the Zoe Explorer has datasets, Unix system services, and jobs. So that's good to know. We're going to create our profile now. So that is click on the Zoe icon to launch Zoe Explorer view. We did that already. There is an editor to your right, 3 sections on the left. Those were the datasets, USS, and jobs. Click the plus sign next to datasets. The info you need is detailed in the next step. All right, so select create a team configuration file. You will be prompted to choose global or project. Select global. All right, so we're going to click plus here. Create new team configuration. It didn't ask us global or anything, so hopefully it did the right thing. And now we have a configuration file here. Zoe config JSON edits. Now you will see an edit session open up Zoe config JSON. Yep, that's this file, Zoe config JSON. You will make a few changes to this file to activate the team configuration. At the top of the file, you will see a section named ZOSMF, and below it TSO. Here's ZOSMF, and here is TSO. We want to change the port property to 10443. So here's the port property. We changed it to 10443. In the TSO section, change the account property to FB3. Account to FB3 right there. Now scroll to the bottom. You should see a base section. I see a global. Oh, here's a base section. Yes. Except there says base, but mine says global base. I think that's probably fine. The server is available at this IP address, so we're going to copy that and put it on here. Where was that? Host. There we go. Select reject unauthorized flag to false. So we just change this to false. So now it looks like this. Yes. Make sure to save the file. File, save. File, save. All right, great. Mac users, you guys can read this. I think you're just giving permission when it asks for it. Setting your filter. Mouse over the new connection you created under datasets and click the magnifying glass next to it. So this thing here, we're going to click on the magnifying glass. And it looks like we set the filter to your user datasets, which is a good way to check. So I guess here, remember your Z ID is not Z9999, it's whatever it is. So I guess let's copy our Z ID that you saved earlier. And we're going to click on the magnifying glass next to this ZOSMF and type in, oh, wait, this isn't. Setting your filter, mouse over the connection you just created and click the magnifying glass next to it. 5 numbers. Take a second. I guess we type in our username here. That's not my username. Here's my username. And then I type in my password. Validating profile. And now we can search. So I think it's saying search with, oh fuck. Sorry. We can search with our username. There we go. That's what we just did. I'm surprised, didn't it? Where actually, I thought we were gonna connect. Anyway, I guess we've connected successfully. And now we see our username under ZOSMF. There we are, right? That's my username. And I see a README file. This is if there was an error, so we can ignore that. You'll probably have a README dataset. You can open this with the editor. So let's click on the README dataset. Oh no. It's not happy reading that. Maybe if we restart. Zoe, ZMF, query. Ah, so I don't know, maybe it's finicky. We just restarted it and now it's happy again with our access to it. Go figure. Welcome to Z Xplore, and it's just telling us to be a good citizen here. That's a very welcoming statement, right? Okay, let's continue. Fixing connection problems. You can update profile if you have invalid connections. So I guess you can click on this and do update profile. I don't see it. If you get an error, REST API. Or red circle. Maybe it only shows up if there's an error, but since we don't have any, we're okay. Styling and profiling, click the plus next to the Unix system services and repeat the steps for jobs down at the bottom section. What does that mean? Let's try. Here we are. Oh no, we do plus. I think we actually already, since we already have a ZOS MF, I don't think we need to do anything. And then, so we're good to go here. Repeat the step for jobs, but we already have ZOS MF here also. Maybe we can just type in our username here. Let's see if that does anything. There we go. We do have a username here. REST API failing. Maybe that's okay. Let's try our username here. Okay. Navigating to VSCJCL. The datasets section lists all of the datasets and members which are available under your filter. Edit the filter to include this. Let us change that. So when we click on datasets, I just click the magnifying glass and it says select a filter. So I think I can just type this in here and this will create this filter. I press enter. And we end up getting a list of a lot of other files. um, that's funny. I don't know why they say to do that. But anyway, find a data set labeled ZXP public JCL. We got ZXJCL. Here we go. Open up the twisty. Look within there. Look for a member called check VSC. That's pretty far down. Here we go. Check VSC is here. VSC job message level 00 exec something. Submit job validation. All right. Once you find check VSC, right click and select submit job. Submit job. Are you sure you want to submit the following job? Yes. It says job submitted. Perfect. I clicked on that. It looks like it opened up this thing. Job log. Execution date. 2 cards read. Validate step was executed. Condition code 0000. It looks like user ID. Here's my user ID, right? Let me check. Yep. Status okay. Challenge ID. Status correct. Greetings, congratulations. All right, so I think we succeeded. And now we can go back and make sure it's marked complete. You got connected to a real live Z system with your very own user ID and password. Here, I'll go back to the browser view. It's a little easier to read. Navigated through the data sets to find specific member, and then submitted some JCL, job control language or something like that, but it's a job, right? As you might imagine, there's a bigger story about what's actually going on here. For now, just feel proud of a job well done. Next up, it's one of those things to follow steps. It's another to understand. In the next 2 challenges, we'll get to the bottom of exactly what these data sets and members are, plus dive a bit deeper into JCL. So I don't think we need to do those things because we're going to go back to our COBOL programming thing. I'm trying to figure out where can I click on. Where can I click to? Here it is. It looks like this. Here's our file. Challenge complete. Check my JCL submission. We click on that. Done. Great job. Double click to make sure. Just earned 5 points. Got it to work. Great job. This means you submitted your JCL correctly on VS Code and the files challenge will be unlocked. So if it didn't work, keep going at it. Once you successfully submitted the JCL, the files challenge will be unlocked. All right, so let's see if we have the files challenge. We got a whole bunch of awards here. How do we close this? Is it opened? Let's go back. And let's click on fundamentals. And now we see files one. So perfect. We're good on the IBM side of things. We have a username and password. And we can probably go back to our COBOL programming course number 1 that we started with. We're going to continue that in the next video where we actually, hopefully, will get into the actual stuff. Let's see what it kind of looks like. We'll end up doing this getting started PDF. and yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do this in the next video. So hopefully I think that was a lot easier than the first video I made on this with the trauma cobol mainframe stuff. But yeah, hopefully that worked for you also. And I'll be doing the next video pretty soon. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. There is a Discord server you can join in the description also. And feel free to comment or ask questions or if this actually worked for you. I'd love to know if anyone was able to follow the steps and actually get through it because I tried hard to streamline it so you could follow it and not get lost. So thank you very much. Bye.